Hey guys, my name is Zediac and welcome back to another episode where your boy is trying to fix his first ever city in City Skylines. We've had a great few last episodes, made some real progress, and we had a huge breakthrough last episode as well, where we've now officially got the traffic flow above 70%. We still have a long way to go, but we broke the camel's back, if that's the saying, the metaphor. I don't know if it is or not. I don't know if it is. I could have just made that up. But we still have loads of areas that are untouched in the city, which we're going to be trying to focus on right now. Rather than kind of focus on one area, I'm going to kind of do bits and bobs here and there all over the place. And hopefully by improving in many areas, it might overall improve the city. Sounds logical, I know. But at times, this game is never logical. But guys, I'm so glad you are enjoying this series, and we are back with another... Ooh, there's a bit of traffic on that roundabout. If you have been enjoying it, please make sure you smash that like button down below. If you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe so you're notified when that next episode does come out. But we are back, boys, and we've got tons of fixes that we need to do. So let's start by looking straight at the traffic flow. 71%. 71%. Before I go into the new areas, just coming back to some of our old areas, I've noticed that this junction, which I still need to do something with, is starting to build back up again. Not too sure why that may be the case, but it kind of is. So I did originally say I wanted to kind of make like a proper junction over here to attach to this. Might need to do it. Might need to sort something out, because if they're coming in to go down there to then cut back in, it's too many zigzags stopping and start. So that's something that is a really easy fix, but I don't want to focus on that just yet. This area isn't looking too bad. They have a few little red patches, but when you kind of glance at them, there isn't really that much traffic. This, what we kind of fixed last episode, is doing really well. There's no traffic there whatsoever. And just glancing around right now, there's a little bit of a flow around here, but there's nothing too much. So that area is pretty good right now. We did a lot of work on around up here, which is completely now free. A lot of issues that we had over here, which are now pretty much settling down with this industrial area. Which, if I just get rid of the traffic flow right now, looks pretty good. Still a little bit of a hiccup here and there, like vehicles trying to leave the area and whatnot and merging over. It's just pretty much sorting out them lanes. Pretty good, don't need to worry about that as much. But we did come across, there's a little bit of a section there which is easy solvable. We did come across an area that I'm yet to touch, which is this over here. So if I bring the traffic flow right now, bam, we have this whole strip running down, and it rolls around this junction. This, which I think is an industrial area just there, and this section over here. Now that's got to be a couple of percent. I can kind of crawl back at the old average traffic flow, which we're going to be taking a look at today and seeing how far we can get with that. So always, we got to take a look at the root cause, the beginning of the issue, and it looks like all the vehicles are leading down to this. And I think it is literally just this junction at the minute. Could be some traffic lights, but it backs the traffic all the way up, which is not good. So rather than trying to solve the problems up here, let's take a look at the beginning of the head of the snake. I'm talking about camels now. I'm talking about snakes. I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't know what's going on. So first things first, let me just get rid of the traffic lights so I can ultimately just see the flow of the traffic. We are going to straight away sort out the on and off ramps of the highways just here. So we can have to anarchy these in and turn them into 2 lanes like that, so we can bring it from different directions. And I know that you guys like shout at me in the comment section about using the lane managements and not entirely using the change lane arrows. I just kind of like this method. It's not for everybody, I understand, but I just kind of like this method. So if we set it up like this, that goes straight that way, that will go that way, that would go this way, that flies over to there, that flies over to there, bam, 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 bam. I think that's all. Everyone's got a direction. We got a point in the middle that they can switch lanes, so I'm not going to worry about that too much, but we kind of sorting out the lane management on that side. Do the same here now. So bam, 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 yes, yes, yes. So I know I can do the old lane, changing lanes. I just like this. I like to visually see the lines. That's why I like it so much. I like to actually see where they're going. Everyone's got their own preferences, but, you know, It is what it is. So if I then get rid of the traffic lights running up, just so I can then slowly start making the traffic flow a bit easier. So I'll go right up to this junction up there. I know there's a lot of roads that connect that shouldn't really need to connect that a bit too close, but we'll see what happens as time goes on. But with that being sorted right now and getting some type of flow, it will start moving. People will start getting into lane to where they need to be to kind of approach this junction. And now, okay, now we need to sort this out. So again, get rid of the traffic lights there. I'll take them all the way up to there as well, because we do have issues around this. Now, this is an industrial area. We have a cargo train station just there, which a lot of people are leading to. It would be ideal to have one over here as well. So what I'm going to do, because there's not much traffic on this road, it's the perfect place if I bring that, let's say, to... Right, if I brought that to... Let me bring this up because I'm going to elevate the road right now and I don't really want to elevate it. If I bring it up by 7 and push that to there just for a minute, right, and then we get the cargo train station and drop it just there. Now, I understand it's counterintuitive to kind of bring them out, to kind of back up and then go back out. It's going to create a lot of issues on this junction. But just hold with me a second. So without ruining too much of the beautifulness that is the natural way that I built this train line. It's not the perfect way to do it, but it will do. I gotta then try and how high is that, by the way? It's 24. That is ridiculous on the height on that right now. So if I just kind of bring it to here and elevate as much as I can. There we go. Oh wait, I just realised I've got it set on where the ground follows it. There we go. Now it's not amazing, guys. So just ignore that for just a hot minute, because we've got some ideas. Has it got water? No, it now has water. So I'm just going to throw that there for now, just so we've got an additional exportation area. What I also should have done as well is maybe implemented one further in over here. Maybe that's what I should have done, is implemented it on the backside there. That feels like a better system for it, because it then keeps the flow of the traffic inside of the region. Right, this is going to be interesting. Right, ignore it, guys. Alright, this is... Right, let me pause. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of it. We'll scrap that idea. I didn't actually fully take it into account what I could have attempted to do. So... Alright, let's bring that round to there. And then this here, if we do the old making some sections longer than others, so we can have trains waiting, that should be good to go. And like I said, it then keeps the traffic in here who want to export, so you shouldn't have as many leaving the area. Hopefully anyway, we'll just kind of see what happens. But now we just have to give it time. There's a huge backlog, and we just have to kind of give it time at this point. There is too many junctions around this section, so I'm going to get rid of this one. I'll keep that one in because it's quite free over here at the moment. I know a lot of people are turning off the highway to come down, to come in, to get into this section. So maybe we could do with like a slight little slip road that turns off to kind of aid some of these people. And I could just have like a simple slip road that comes off here. So let's say I pick, for example, this section. And again, it's very high. I'm so shocked of how high some of these areas are. So have that come off to there. It might be used for people to do a turn there, but I'll just ultimately see what happens. I think it does. Weirdly, it turns into a one-way road at that point. But I'll come back to that in just a moment. It allows people then to come off here and drive down here into this area, as opposed to, you know, causing issues on that junction. I know we're just moving the problem somewhere else. But I'm trying to keep as my original design as much as possible. That's what I'm ultimately trying to do at this point. So give that some time anyway. And we'll get rid of the traffic lights right now, just around here and here. I know there's some over there. Just get rid of those for now, just to aid it, and then just give it time to kind of flush itself all through. Is anyone turning off at this point? Do we see anybody? Will anybody turn off? Not just yet. So again, we'll just give it some time. So that backlog, which originally came all the way up to here, it's still there at the moment. So we just got to give it again some time. I'm going to aid this junction because I know. Oh my goodness me, there is a lot of stuff going on right now, isn't there? There is a lot of stuff. So let's get set up first. What we would normally do. Let's do all the turns, so everyone knows what lane they need to be in. So we'll keep it like that, and we'll keep the straight over roads up and running as well. And then the left-hand turns, which I know is going to cause big issues to begin with. There's a lot of... What's going on with the people crossing the road? They just seem to be standing in the road. Is there a queue? What's the queue for? Is it a queue for getting to the metro? It possibly could be. It quite possibly could be. Right, we'll set it where there's no crossing on this junction. So I'm so sorry, guys. You're gonna have to cross over in a different light. There seems to be a lot of pedestrians. Now, is this being used? I mean, there's a lot of people. It can't all be going into there. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I know it'll push the pedestrians crossing over in a different position. And I could set up some underground or overpass crossing points, which will be handy. But I'm just slowly trying to get them into the lanes they need to be in before they start moving. Damn. It's a lot of peeps. But look at the gaps now on this road coming down. They're all spaced out. And we're up to this point now. We're just willing it to start moving, which will eventually start disappearing. Yeah, the traffic's easing up a bit right now. But now we've got issues over here. What is this? Where are they going? What seems to be the point of this? So they're now coming down here to get over to there. What, to kind of drive down to here maybe a bit more? There is a bit of an issue over here right now. Now, where are these all going? They're all making that left-hand turn to get into this section, aren't they? Yeah. Now, I could make it easier for them and have a little slip road joining on to get to it a bit easier. It could just be the fact that... It could just be the fact that I had some traffic lights and then I ultimately waiting for that to move. But let me just kind of solve this, because I'm kind of jumping away from this little issue right now that's kind of creeping up. So that is to literally get them to cross there and to disperse, probably to go down to here to join that. But they could quite easily come up here and join this. They could come out here, drive up, and then join that. I don't know if this is a needed bridge. I'm going to get rid of it, because it's just filtering loads of unnecessary industrial traffic into a residential area. Right. And then let me sort this out as well. So I'm going to make sure that, yeah, this is the turning lane. That goes straight on. That is the right turning lane there, just so everyone gets into the correct lane. They could all just want to get into this lane anyway. I'll set it up where on the junction as well, these guys, well, no crossing there or there. These guys can, you know, ultimately can just flow themselves through, get some of that vehicle traffic moving. It's only a little bit that's backing up. So we just caught it maybe at the right time. It's going to take some time there for this to kind of disappear. And let me just get the traffic light off of that. Because that's now got to redirect itself. Which the tail end is just there. It'll just kind of move in a different location. Which it seems to be doing. This is all looking nice and flowy right now. Up to this point where the tail ends on these sides are disappearing. And it's just now the remaining bit. And once that follows through. Then we're all good. Okay. We're all good at that point. So. Let's take. I'm not saying I've increased percentages. even though I have. I just want to see where my next big issues are lying. So we have something over here right now that's just caught my eye. And where's this right now? This is in between the two areas that we just worked with. And it seems to be a little bit of an issue on this junction. So let me just sort out some of these lanes then. So ultimately, turning, straight ahead. And then that way. I'm just trying to solve this little backlog here. But it does seem to kind of go down a little bit further. It's not a major one, this one. It's just getting the traffic moving, which that should ultimately sort it out, really. Now, traffic's coming from this direction as well, which will set it up to hit certain lanes. There's not much traffic coming from that way, so that'll kind of get into their correct lanes as well. Slowly start moving it, and that should all start clearing. It's because the airport's there, which I could get rid of it because it's in a stupid location right now, but that should slowly start to move. Right, anyway, I'm still getting sidetracked, so let me take a look at right over now then. So did we sort this area out, or is that a completely different? I'm lost to where I currently am. So oh no, that was our original turn in there, which backed up a little bit, but we'll leave it for now. This is now a lot of traffic on this road. This is literally because that is the traffic that came from that bridge when I deleted that one going across. So I know that will eventually move itself. This right now is still backed up to here, but let's see if we can get some improvements on the go. Right, I'm allowing the traffic to keep flowing. They all cross on areas that they shouldn't. I don't really want them to cross on, the pedestrians. So now it pushes them down to a different area, but I've got to create like some overpasses as well, maybe. Right, that will get the vehicle traffic moving. Right, we're pulling to ×9, or whatever the game considers being super fast right now. And leave that to do what it's got to do. So now we have, oh, this juicy little section over here. Now, what do I spy over here then? So let's take a quick look then. It's ultimately people trying to join the highway by the looks of it. So let's try and do some magic here then. All right, get rid of all of those. We'll quickly upgrade the ends of the highways there with those lanes. We'll set it up right now where, bam, you turn in that way. Bam, you turn in that way. You go straight on. You go straight on. Yeah, you go straight on as well. And you go straight on as well. Oh, wait, no. You go this way. And you go that way, because these come into play. I kind of messed that one up there, didn't I? Yeah, you go that way. That's how that works. I did the same side, or same thing on this side, because it enables us to, you know, filter the traffic a little bit easier. So they're all set up for those turn-ins. That's straight ahead, straight ahead. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then we have the little middle junction there where they can then do the little turn-in and switch lanes to where they need to be. We then have a lot of traffic coming out of there on that junction. Right, and they ultimately are trying to get out to maybe even go in that direction, possibly. They're coming down this way to cross over. So we have a lot of initial crisscross over right now. Now, with what we just set up, like I said, I mean, this is all hypothetical. It could clear the traffic. And then no future action is needed. But to find that out, we have to give it time. So with the small little fix that I've now just done, dotted here, there, and everywhere, we're going to let some time now simulate by. I want to come back to this little section just here as time passes by. We have a lot of vehicles all coming out of this section there. I think that is the... Do you know what that is, to be honest with you? I think it's everyone coming out of the subway maybe and then getting into cars here. Yeah. So we'll let some time pass by anyway. We currently stand at 75%. So we've gained around about 5% increased traffic flow right now. So we'll come back in about... I'll come back in about 10-15 minutes and just ultimately... Some time has now passed by. And from all of that, we've gained 1%. We're now to 76% right now. Oh no, 77. We've gained 2%. Nice. So coming back to the key points that we kind of did, I've kind of removed the little roads that connected it, like there. We've done underground tunnels to kind of pass through there and kept this kind of mainly open, which now we've got rid of the big bulkiness of people. I mean, there's still people getting out here in vehicles, but because they're able to kind of flow out a whole lot easier, there's no big backups. It's all pass through, which is glorious. I mean, the tail end of it right now is around this area, but mostly it's kind of free flowing, which is good to see. This little area right now, this little junction, is a little bit OTT still, but it's actually clearing, even though it looks like it's not. I've incorporated a little cargo hub over here to kind of keep the imports and exports within this industrial area inside of the industrial area, which is going to be a big help for them. And like I said, the tail end of it now is slowly coming to an end. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, boys. I'm going to also implement the road, like a road here just connecting direct. Oh my goodness me, what is going down? What is going down right now? I forget what is on and what's not on. But get a road connecting like that. It allows vehicles to kind of pass through and get to certain areas without fully going up to the top and having to connect in. It just makes things a little bit easier for us on that front. I could do a connection that goes straight up there to add an additional turn point, but we'll just leave it as it is. The back end is slowly dying down as they all turn in, so that issue is slowly coming to an end. And so we'll just, again, give that a little bit of time to pass through. I've done some more recent works with that. The passing through around this area seemed to die down a little bit. There's not too much traffic on that front. There's a little bit of turning traffic here, but it's not enough to kind of ring alarm bells for the most part just yet. That's just kind of been steady and continue to do what it's got to do. No major issues there, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, it's all coming to an end slowly. Good to see. They're utilising that little road section there. And we'll just see how this little part gets on. If it becomes a bit too much of an issue still, I'll do something about it. But I'll just let it take its course for now. So where are we at then? We're at 76 again then. And where's some major issues? So we got some red parts down here. Mainly looks like people trying to enter onto this little strip here. And we've had this for a while anyway, because we worked with that bridge, taking vehicles to and from. But getting them to where they need to get to on here is going to be very, very important. So let's sort out, first things first, this. So everyone passes over to one spot there, which could alleviate some of the traffic front, meaning that they're stuck on taking the highway line there. And then we'll have this lane here that comes around to that point, which I'll allow it to do this. It's not conventional. It's not what you would normally do. But I'm trying to disperse and kind of separate the traffic into their two. Why are they stopped? Is that bike there okay? I'm going to get rid of you for a second. I don't know what was going on there with that. But it allows them to use the two lanes more. It allows them to use them two lanes a bit more. All of a sudden we've got traffic on this junction out of nowhere. Are you okay, game? Are you okay right now? I think we've done the lane management on this. No, we haven't. Okay. So let me just do initially all the turns. Get the traffic into their lanes. We'll do the left turn, sorry. Which one haven't I done? This one. There we go. And then we got the straight overs. So we can utilize the free lanes a little bit more easier and a lot quicker. There we go. So that will be a huge kerfuffle from the get-go, which should solve some issues. I feel like traffic issues just appeared out of nowhere. We had them originally here. Now they're all over the place. That's interesting, to say the least. Wow, okay. Okay. So again, that'll give it a few minutes to like sort itself out because everyone's all over the place. I could throw in the traffic light back in to kind of sort it, but I like to let stuff just take its course and it will just like fix itself anyway. So give that a few minutes to get going. It's mainly people doing that turn to go straight there, going straight across. So it will die down, that traffic. It will die down a little bit, which is good to kind of see. And we will get there. We will get there. So give that some time. We'll come back to that momentarily. But I bet that's messed around with my percentages. Yeah, I'm about to say maybe 5%. Do you know what? No, let's get this sorted because it is going to be kind of annoying. But then again, the traffic is flowing wonderfully right now. In spots. In spots, he says. So, right. Now, do we have enough demand to warrant some, like, an overpass turning lane or whatnot? I'm not liking how some of these are switching their lane. So, push from a little bit further back. Get into your correct lanes there. Just to keep the traffic a-moving and a-flowing. There we go. That's slowly now moving. Slowly pushing itself all through. And that tail end is going quite far back as these are all leading down. That tail end is just on the roundabout there. That tail end pretty much ends there. And I'll allow him to all through. I'm going to get rid of crossing just for now. So this goes against everything, and you're probably screaming at me, "Oh, Seniac, put a roundabout on this." I don't want to do a roundabout because there's too much traffic to warrant a roundabout. That'll just cause more issues as time goes on. So let them have a little bit of chaos to begin with. Give them a little bit of chaos. Sometimes brute force fixes everything. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So when you think about it, we have this road here stretching right down. Now if I killed off this, meaning that all traffic has to then funnel this way. Not great for them. But then we have traffic coming out that maybe want to go in that direction up or that direction. What if I created it? But then again, they can use this up here, couldn't they, to hit the highway and come in? Is there much use for this? I'm trying to find ways in which I can alleviate some stuff. So let me say if I killed off this. I know it's not the best of moves, but we do have a little turning section here. They can continue on the highway, come in and get in that direction, which would, again, alleviate some of the turning here. Keep these guys from going straight ahead. These will have that dedicated turning lane continuing. And we'll then start getting stuff moving. Granted, I'm pushing it to that side. But what I could have done as well... is actually kept it back in. So, pull it back in once more, but we change the turning lanes. Like, for example, these guys can make that turn. And it's so counterintuitive to do it as a free lane like this. But I'm doing it in a sense where nobody can cross over one another on this section. So we still get it where people could turn in and turn out. But I'm keeping these lanes alive and free. Is what I mean. I just can't believe that traffic just came out of nowhere. I feel like it literally just came out of nowhere right now. And that's not a good sign when it can just jump up on you like that. So, you know what I'm going to say right now? I'm going to ignore this because it is a freak bit of traffic. It just came out of nowhere. I've probably made it 10 times worse as well with what I've pretty much set up to do. But I just want to see what happens. I want to see how it kind of naturally clears itself. How it passes the traffic through. They're all trying to make that little turn. We've got vehicles coming out of this side here. It's not looking right, is it? It really isn't looking right. So it comes to the point where, yo, Seniac, you're going to have to do something to fix it, boy. You're going to have to do something to fix it right now. So, leading down to here, what did we do on this junction? No traffic lights. And there is lane management, which is a good sign. That is a good sign. So we got lane management hooked on that. But the whole point that we ain't got traffic lights kind of backs people up like it is right now. So we do have a mixture of people wanting to get into this area as well, don't we? Right, we're gonna build something. We're gonna try and build something right now. So let's go for this. So it's the majority coming down here, turning. So what I'm thinking of doing here is we elevate a little strip of road here by 10. Right, we'll pause it while we do this. And let's do a nice little bend here. So that elevates up and over. Now, this is going to come down to Earth to there, and then pretty much just cut it. Then we magically are going to, I'll do it reverse, this one. Bring that down and then cut it in there. But let me just flip this right around and set it up in a sense where that turn does that. So by having that dedicated turning lane, and obviously make sure that it can only go in that direction, allows us, I mean, I know it's gonna, well, actually we got that little section there. It allows them to kind of bypass that little turn there. I gotta tell, well, they need to understand that this can be a quicker route, which they should be able to, because it's a slip road, it should have a higher speed limit, which is starting to get vehicles now using it, which will be good for us. But also, I wonder if I can, by elevating it back up, now I don't know. Oh, hang on. Hold on. Power issues, boy. Power issues right now. Does that get us all connected back up? Yeah? Yeah, guys? Yes. Right, we get a few people using it, which ultimately stops them doing that little turn there. Some of them anyway. But obviously, what about the peeps that maybe want to go straight ahead? So I'm thinking if I got rid of this here, and just, again, reconfiguring, that went to there, but then we set up a secondary road that maybe came over, or came to here, to there, and then straight down to here to kind of filter the traffic in a bit more. Because we can do this because we have large demands like we do. We're able to kind of create these little dedicated runs and roads in this built up area. So let's get that to there. Now, we need to make sure that they understand that this is a quicker way to go around stuff. They'll understand because they're now merging different lanes, and I want to see someone use this so we know it's beneficial. It'll take a minute or two. There we go, we got a vehicle there using it right now. That's what I like to see. And it kind of causes little spots there, but I'm not too worried about that right now. It's just I'm trying to get rid of this backlog, which is pretty much now all going. So once this little backlog here is pretty much cleared, we're in the clear. We are pretty much in the clear. So we saw this junction out here then, where people can just pass through it, haven't got to stop. Now my next issue is, we have the people who are trying to turn into this section, right? They're trying to turn into here. Now it's a lot of vehicles. You've got vehicles here trying to turn this way and come and bring it in. But as soon as I start, the traffic starts dropping down, you probably won't have these mass queues anymore. It's what I'm thinking. It's what I'm thinking, but we've got to clear it first, haven't we? So why don't we set this junction back up to being, well, I wouldn't say normal, but somewhat normal. Because then it slowly clears that junction. Or shall I keep it as it is? You just got to watch. You got to watch and bide your own time. So a lot of people now are coming out to do that turn. Which I don't know why they don't utilize this a bit more, but they could be coming down here to do that turn to go straight up. Now, are they all trying to do that left-hand turn? I think they pretty much are. So could I set it up where all these guys give way for just a minute? Try and keep them flowing. Right, once all I'm literally doing is trying to clear the backlog. Once I've done that, I can set up the proper lane management and road systems. I just want to get rid of the traffic first, because it will just take forever to go away if I don't. Now, the issue we got here is vehicles also wanted to kind of merge in from this side. Now, not everybody is potentially wanting to turn into here. Some people just want to go straight ahead. So we got to simplify this whole little system. Right, I'm going to get rid of this little connection there. So they can utilize and drive up to there. Then if they're trying to come down here to come into here, this bit, they utilize this turn off here. When people coming from that direction. Now, it's not backing up on the roundabout anymore, which we are slowly pushing them through. Alright, set it up to where those guys have to then stop. And I'm just waiting for them to push through. Do you know what I'm going to do as well? Just try and utilize this one as well a bit more. Set that up. So we've got 2 lanes that could potentially go straight on if needs be. That will funnel the vehicles a bit more as well. I know I've got the huge backlog being created up here right now. So what we do here is if I move this just over a tad bit more. And what's this? We've got a police headquarters over here, which I'll throw these on this side. Like that. And because we have so much heavy traffic over here, we can say it warrants me creating some kind of additional passover at this point as well. Now, it's not for every junction. It's not for every place. Every place has its own requirements and whatnot. But is that something I could, you know, if I delete back, rather than create another junction like there. Wow. By doing that, I've messed up the other one, haven't I? So I might as well throw that back in. Like that. Alright, push this up a bit. Just kind of create that little merger. It's all over the place, this is. This has got to be one of the worst things I've ever decided to build in my whole entire life. Alright, set up like that. Sort the junctions out real quick. Alright, there we go. Get these guys over here. Or give them the ability to kind of get into this. You ain't got to tell me, okay, guys? You have not got to tell me. So what that is doing then is stopping them guys, well, reducing the ability for them to then make that right-hand turn here. Which what I then do is get rid of that ability. So they will start making that turn there. Same thing for these. If I got rid of the ability to make that turn and it was a straight over instead, they'll start taking the high ramp up here, which reduces the traffic on there. And I know this junction is ridiculous. I get it. I know it's freaking ridiculous right now. It's not needed. It's all over the place. But trust me, right? I got a little trick up my sleeve that I'm slowly building up to. I'm slowly building up to it right now. So you got to think of it in the grand scheme of things. We have a bridge going across here, the road coming in, two big, huge roads coming in as well, which they all kind of contradict one another if you think about it. They all do. We have this industrial area here, which if I set it up correctly to having a proper system there, I don't need that road there because they can all utilize the highway to get over to it. Right? Which then alleviates this whole little strip right now. But we're trying to kind of move the traffic. Once I've got rid of the backlog of this traffic, we're good to go. And that's kind of what we need to utilize the most out of it, is setting something up. But it gets a little bit tricky because of the limited space that you do have. But there's nothing that we can do or say right now which is going to clear this huge backlog. So let's just do what... I've waited long enough and it's not going to happen. So let's just set up the little trick up my sleeve I was mentioning right there. So pause for a hot minute. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. Then we're going to... Oh, the highways are over here. We'll set this up right now. Where we go... Oh, get rid of... that direction. Put it back on. That direction, okay? And then bring them somewhat together. Like that. And now we've got a platform. We've got an ability, a way in which we can bring people in. So I'm going to do this very rough, very loose. There you kind of bring us in there. Start the elevation up right now. To there. To there. Bring that over. So I'm going to create a very, very quick, very, very simple Trumpet Junction. Right? This is going to be the most awkward, disgusting Trumpet Junction you ever seen in your life. But it's going to work. So flip that around. So I put it back to play mode right now. We're now getting some momentum rocking and rolling. So this just follows our lead. Okay. Right. We've got the world's fastest built and worst built Trumpet Junction ever, which gets rid of this, which means I can get rid of this, which means I can get rid of all of this. It's now all going. Right, and we're going to take it back to basics. Take it all back to basics, even get rid of that there. Even get rid of all of that. So I know we have underground, this little thing there. Get rid of it all. So the only way to get into this little area is from our beautifully set up Trumpet Junction, which then sets all this up, or leaves all this now to being what it's meant to be, just big roads to get from one area to the other a little bit easier. Now I've got to do little stuff on this to kind of ease its process. Bam. Bam, 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 bam. And I know I've got to set up lane management and whatnot. But now as the big bulk of traffic is now heading out, I might as well just get on top of it right now because it's going to be a pain. So sort you out like that. Sort you out like that. Bam, bam. Nice and simple. Bam, ba, bam, bam, bam. So this is going to be my next issue, is actually then trying to filter traffic in and out on such madness. Because we're going to have a huge backlog and build up of vehicles trying to enter and exit. So we try and simplify it a bit easier. We'll try and get little stuff set up. Like maybe I create like a little slip road that comes out to here. Just for the purpose of, you know, making a turn there. So it reduces vehicles coming straight down there. But it's not really going to do much difference, to be honest with you. So I'm going to get rid of it. It's more of a hindrance. But there shouldn't really be that much traffic in this area, to be honest with you. There shouldn't really be that much traffic popping up. And I'll also make sure that these guys pass through. Got to make sure that they are all sticking in the lanes that they need to be in. There we go. The lanes are pretty much preset leading up to it. And it should hopefully reduce the traffic. Now, it will take some while before that clears itself and understands what is now happening. But what I will do is we'll come back and I'll implement a singular road. And that singular road is for the sole purpose. If you're coming out, you go in that direction. If you're coming in, you go in this direction. And no other way which you can then go. Just to kind of like take a little bit of an edge off this. It's like the pressure valve. We can just like release it a little bit. To get vehicles where they need to go to. And now it just takes some time to kind of move itself and get the vehicles pushing. But that's what I was kind of building up to. I just wanted to kind of move the traffic, and it was pretty much a big waste of time. But we've got it sorted anyway. So that has its own little system right now, which as time goes on, once it's all filtered down, it should be pretty sweet. Traffic flow over to 76%. How are we doing over here then? So we still have this little issue over here where it's a bit touch and go, but it's not major when you kind of have an overview of it. It's not major. I can probably say maybe get rid of... Oh, no, not like that. Some of the zoning on the road leading into it. Because if vehicles are stopping to kind of service them buildings, it's holding up the traffic. And then maybe implement that additional road here. Additional inlet, which can, again, separate some of the traffic flow a little bit easier and alleviate that little side. But for the most part, we've done a pretty good job. A lot has got done. A lot has been done. We've satisfied this whole area right now. We've made this a little bit worse, but as the traffic is now disappearing, let me see what I can do here because... Oh, wrong button. This could do with some help. It's pretty much they're getting caught up on like the crossing over here and the ability for the traffic to flow through. So that should start moving that, and it's all pretty much clear right now. So I should have just done that in the first place, shouldn't I? Rather than just kind of trying to create something that was never going to work. But we got there in the end. We got there in the end. There's not too much pressure on that area. This backlog is almost cleared. Just waiting for these vehicles to pass through. And then it's all good. It's all good at that point. So, 77%. Next episode could be the episode where we finally break the 80% mark and the goal that we have been focusing on this whole time. The goal that we set ourselves, 80%, which when you look over here, there's some issues over there. Got a little bit red over here. That's with the industry we've kind of worked with before in the past. Got to sort this section out here. And that literally could be, as I look around, little section over there, all those little bits and bobs that we can kind of solve, that could be all we need to get 80%. And that could be the final episode where we can claim we kind of fixed the city. We've kind of fixed the city and still left as much of it as original as we could possibly have left it. And I think on that note, guys, we are going to end it for here. I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, guys, I'll see you all soon. So, good.